And welcome to the special edition of Hannity Jihad in America. Now tonight, for the entire hour, we're going to examine the growing threat of radical Islam right here in the U.S. Now, the Orlando terror attack is only the latest example of how radical Islamists want to destroy your freedom and your way of life. Let's take a look.
And we've just gotten word of not one but two explosions near the finish line of the Boston Marathon.
We have someone attacking someone in the building.
Tonight, terror in the heartland. The FBI is investigating a brutal beheading in Moore, Oklahoma, after the suspect's co-workers revealed that he had been trying to convert them to Islam.
Stabbed a woman in our customer service department.
Okay.
He encountered the first victim and did sever her head.
The suspect, Mohammed Youssef Abdulaziz. You are looking right at the man accused of killing 4 U.S. Marines right here on American soil.
Why would you hurt your own protectors?
We are treating this as an act of domestic terrorism.
They're after that guy. They're after that guy. Gunshots.
Severing, multiple shots fired.
We have 14 people that are confirmed dead in this incident.
The FBI will not rule out terrorism as a possible motive in today's deadly shooting rampage.
Oh my God, they're all shooting back and forth.
Orlando to command, we have shots fired on scene. OPD is requesting you stay back, don't enter the scene.
Breaking right now, gunfire erupting inside an Orlando nightclub.
I could just smell the ammo in the air and I was like, this is a gun, this isn't fireworks, like we need to leave.
We know enough to say that this was an act of terror and an act of hate.
Now, unfortunately, those terror attacks are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the threat that ISIS poses to America. Now, the numbers are absolutely shocking. According to the FBI, there are ISIS-related cases now in all 50 states, over 1,000 active investigations. Now, since 2014, 90 people have been charged under federal law in ISIS-related cases, and 5 of those people have been convicted by juries. In that same time frame, there have been 27 ISIS-linked plots to attack America. And these numbers are disturbing. 250 Americans have traveled or attempted to travel to Syria to literally join the Islamic State. And 300 Americans or U.S.-based individuals are spreading ISIS propaganda online or are engaging with ISIS-aligned individuals on social media. Here with reaction tonight, Fox News Middle East analyst and foreign policy advisor to Donald Trump, Waleed Phares, and Fox News strategic analyst, Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters. All right, we now have had 94, Colonel, 94 Americans on American soil killed since 9/11. Our Department of Homeland Security bans the term jihad and Sharia because they say it is too respectful. The Department of Homeland Security says those right-wingers pose the same threat as Islamic extremism. Jay Johnson, Department of Homeland Security, thinks guns are the issue. That's now a Homeland Security issue. Now, in the same time, the U.S. has resettled nearly 750,000 migrants from countries that execute gays and lesbians. Illegal immigrants who overstay their visas almost never get caught, according to Homeland Security. And in Orlando, the Muslim population has grown tenfold in the past decade. Is this a problem we're not paying attention to?
Well, we're certainly not paying sufficient attention to any of the problems you cited. And what we've got, you cited the bans in our government and the military with using terms such as jihad, Islamist terror. That is censorship. That's Orwellian doublespeak, and it actually hampers our efforts. But I'll tell you, we just need to get serious, Sean. And here's what we absolutely must do. Stop focusing only on individuals. We've got to do that. But Mao Zedong said, the gorilla swims in the sea of the people, while the terrorist hides in the swamp of the people. And we need to go after not just individuals, we need to crack down on the hate mosques, on the mullahs and imams who preach hatred, sedition, anti-Semitism, etc. And if they're not citizens, get them out. And we absolutely right now need to crack down on jihadi porn, on these websites and chat rooms that we know 100% know that they are inspiring Americans to kill Americans.
Waleed Phares, thoughts?
Well, look, this is not one attack, 6 bloody attacks so far by jihadist-linked individuals and groups. Not 6 attacks, only 60 attempts against us over the past few years. The heads of the Department of, or the FBI and others have been concluding that we are facing up to 50 activities in 50 states. It's not that we are at war with the jihadists, they are at war with us. My concern is that the penetration of the jihadists, not just of ISIS, of all kind of jihadists, of the United States, is not just over the past 10 years. It has been happening since the late 60s, 70s.
100%.
Waves of Muslim Brotherhood have been moving in, and this is the infrastructure creating the pool of radicalization.
And of course, the former head of the Muslim Brotherhood got from Hillary Clinton and President Obama, let's see, tanks, F-16s, and $1 billion. Mohammed Morsi, who referred to Israelis as and Jews as descendants of apes and pigs. We released Gitmo terrorists. We give Iran $150 billion. But I want to shift to a political question. And bear with me, both of you, if you may, as I go through this list. Because Hillary Clinton has been bought and paid for by countries that abuse the rights of women, gays, lesbians, Christians, and Jews. We'll put up on the screen as we talk about this, Dr. Peters. I'm talking about Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and the UAE and Oman and Brunei and Algeria and Qatar, how they treat gays and lesbians, how they treat women. She's taken millions from these countries. How can she claim the mantle as a champion for minority rights, religious rights, gays and lesbians, for women, and take this money from countries that abuse these people?
Oh, it's simple. Truth does not matter to anyone named Clinton. Money and power does. I mean, in Obama's case, it's about left-wing ideology and his romanticization of Islam. He's totally divorced from reality. Hillary's not divorced from reality. She's fastened tightly.
So she just sold out.
She's got a tight grip on it. She sold out, and what's pathetic is
this
President
blood
Clinton
money?
sold out. It's bloody money, and what's pathetic, Sean, is they not only sold out, but in the great scheme of things, they sold out cheap.
All right, but why do women then support her? Why do gays and lesbians support her? Donald Trump didn't take money from these countries. He has the courage to say that we're not going to take people from your country because of the horrible practices against minorities. Waleed?
Well, what concerns me, of course, there is this issue of donations coming to the private foundation. That has to be investigated, of course, in terms of favors being done. But what concerns me is the policy of Mrs. Clinton when she was at the State Department. Policy of backing Islamist militias in Libya, in Tunisia, backing the Muslim Brotherhood regime in Egypt, and all of these have oppressed people, and backing, above all of that, the Iran deal. And we know what the Iranian regime is doing to minorities, to women, to gays, and to others.
Yeah, and Lieutenant Colonel Peters, they gave $150 billion to Iran. They created the vacuum for ISIS in Syria. They created the vacuum for the emergence of ISIS in Iraq and Syria. They let Gitmo terrorists go free back into the battlefield. They give money to the former Mohammed Morsi, former Muslim Brotherhood president. It is, how could you be so wrong so often, and the issue of Syrian refugees on top of it?
Well, you can if you're an ideologue or if you're purely selfish. Obama's an ideologue. Clinton is purely selfish. And, you know, what really troubles me is a thorough lack of integrity and the willingness to just abandon real minority groups, really persecuted groups such as, again, the Christians in the Middle East. We've watched blithely, and the Obama administration's watched blithely, as 2,000 years of Christian civilization in the Middle East has been all but eradicated, and none of them care. So, you know, Dr. Phares and I think are in total agreement about this, that this has been a betrayal, not only of the United States of America, but of our values, but of Christianity, of Judaism, and of civilization.
All right, thank you both for being with us.